That's crazy.
What?
It says, if the election were held today, the latest poll suggests this outcome of the Electoral College. Joe Biden 252 to Donald Trump's 125.
Wow.
He might pull some shit though. He always does.
That shit's so.
What time is it?
7:28.
Go live. What up, Brian?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Pretty sure we're live.
It's all a gimmick, if you ask me.
What's your nationality?
Angelino.
What's that?
No, can I guess what your background is? I'm gonna say
Yeah, I want
Latin
Yes.
and Moroccan.
Ooh.
Close.
Portuguese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Come on, that's
I was
Portuguese.
born in Brazil, so,
Okay.
and my grandmother's from
saying,
Portugal.
Yeah.
Like,
But I was
remember what I
born
was
in
telling you
LA.
last time about like having it scheduled so that people can join?
Yeah, I'm in your
You didn't do that, did you?
Do you know boys?
Well, if it did, then there would be a.
Right.
If it did that, then there would be a.
So what?
Then there would be
Good, right?
like a chat, like a room that people could be waiting for us in, like an image that says going
Next
live.
week
you know
we
what
gotta
I'm
go.
saying?
We gotta do it around the fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you okay, Ryan? You look like you cried.
Just chilling.
Look, we're gonna have a nice
Every day is a good cry. Like I can't remember the last time I cried. I think Drake made me cry the last time. God's plan.
Whoa. You cried over that?
Oh my gosh,
So far,
he,
so
like,
good.
gave everybody money, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Damn,
okay.
you got the fucking Mexico Nikes.
Right. That was the last time I cried.
Okay, I remember now. I didn't understand.
When
what
Drake
you
goes
meant.
around and just does shit for people. And
I cried a lot yesterday.
Damn.
About what?
I'll share about it.
All right, so it's meeting time. It's a small meeting. You guys all know the rules, right? Raise your hand, say who you are,
Hang out.
read, share on the topic if you can. If not, that's fine.
Did you talk
2 minutes. Is it Danielle? Are you gonna time for us?
I'll time.
Fine. Keep time.
Gus is gonna time,
Oh,
and it's 2 and 2. Okay.
It is?
2 and
We
2.
could probably
yeah.
do 3 and 2 now. 5 minutes. I mean,
Why you want to change my rules,
I
bro?
because there's no one here. No, I don't want to change them. It's all good.
I felt your needs and it was like,
Sorry, Billy.
Update
can I help you?
Sorry, my bad.
No, I'm just joking.
what's up, guys?
But it's
Yeah, no, let's keep it. Let's keep
as
it.
they
Let's
are.
keep it how
You
you are.
forgot to meditate last time.
She's not a Chris.
4-minute meditation,
Let's go.
Here,
and let's try to like tap in, man. I could use it.
yeah.
So can you time us for a 4-minute meditation?
Yeah, as soon as Pat's ready.
As soon as Pat settles.
That's gonna be a tricky one.
I don't think he's gonna settle.
Oh, what's up, bro? Also, now Paul's just showing up, so let's
Well, you're here just in time to meditate.
well, just let's give me 2 minutes. Let Paul
All right,
settle.
we'll wait a few more minutes.
Oh, Billy was blessed.
Oh yeah. I don't have any cash, but I could have well.
How are you?
Oh,
That's
dude,
not far right.
I was just complaining about being cold, and you just saved
There you go.
saved me. You all right, Hamish?
Yeah, I'm great.
Yeah, you're fine.
How is Paul? Oh, badass.
Oh my god.
All right, do you have a Venmo?
I mean, like I did, but
I'll give it to you later.
like you're funny, like blowing them like.
It's a gift. Merry Christmas.
Far away. So
Thank
How
you.
about
I
I needed it tonight. I haven't been home yet.
Like you're not that.
Fresh.
That's why. Like you're
Even
down
if
to
that?
the
It's all your
tacos.
mother can love.
What do you mean you were? Wait, oh.
Sometimes my mom gets kind of mad at me.
I've had to give people a month notice.
That's snuggy.
For what?
Blood.
So are we really waiting for something?
Can we wait 2 minutes?
Okay.
You're so silly tonight.
It's just true.
Why are you so silly? Are we meditating?
Someone said wait 2 more minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we're waiting for Pat to sell.
Fuck that fool. I'm sorry.
What?
I never knew you gangbang.
What do you mean? I can't. I don't gang bang.
What?
Fucking weirdo.
Oh.
Not gang bang like
Red
that.
Why are you doing with the red rag? Like,
Oh my god, you and that?
I used to know
That's a
somebody
good look
like
for
that.
you.
He's in jail. Should be out of prison.
Nice. Core group.
No. I know people who went to jail. I don't know anyone in jail right now. That's just really interesting.
I put my hands on this and went to jail.
You're lucky. I just got the TV all hooked up and everything.
You do.
I think internet. I'm gonna have to fix
Oh, you're
that.
living over there?
You're funny.
Rudy?
You're
Yeah,
so
for the
funny.
next month.
What?
Who's over there now?
Just me.
And Rudy?
Rudy's not there now.
So you want your F stop a little bit higher, you know?
That was black and mild.
Five,
feel like those were really
five,
fast.
6 maybe.
I feel like you're ready.
I used to
But I
smoke
feel like
those,
I'm
yeah.
quitting before I'm 25 and I can't do anything else that makes me
Yeah, that's fine.
chill out. So I'm fine.
I don't know.
Like Jewel. They're getting rid of all these. It's end of December.
Bullshit.
I swear. That's my tobacco guy told me.
Alright.
No.
All the flavors are going
I
away.
mean, I
You
have
already
to sign a
tried.
petition.
Am
Jewel got
I
rid of
No.
in this
I just like
motherfucking
menthol.
frame?
Why did Jewel get
You're not gonna sing
it's
that.
like their mango?
Yo,
Bro.
let's just give it up to Rudy real quick though.
What's up, Rudy?
Rudy!
Acting extravaganza. Did you guys see that?
That shit scared me.
Yeah, right. Really?
I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Right.
And then I was like, okay,
Did
where's
you
the
see what
video?
happened?
Where's the video?
Yeah, she's got. What do you got? 20.
What?
You have 20 days.
19.
I mean, she says 19
How
days.
you make yourself cry like that?
Hold up. She has 19 days sober, and has just been kind of attacked by like the whole internet.
I can see she
It's
looks
kind of
sad.
gnarly. Like people are like actually like upset with her. And, like,
Me too.
What,
taking
well,
shots
acting?
at her.
We're all
That's what
getting-
actors get. They get ridiculed. They get judgment and a lot of hate, and it's
Go back to the beatitude, man.
Today's my
Persecuted for
60 days
righteousness'
sober
sake.
today.
What? You are?
Yeah, today's my 60.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I'll have a year next week.
Fuck yeah.
Dang.
Dude, I'll have a birthday this month too.
Really?
Like, what kind of birthday?
The actual 25th birthday.
Who cares about
Oh,
that,
no.
bro?
Oh.
Oh, 25. I thought
What do you
I'm
think
like,
is
yeah,
25
Nobody
years
cares
old?
about me.
Wow.
No. I was
I
saying
can't
like
believe-
natal
I'll bring you a
birthdays or
cupcake.
like whatever.
Send me a reminder.
No, that's in June.
For me. It's more about the sober birthdays. Oh, Shaw's in Mexico, huh?
Yeah.
That fool was getting wild on the podcast last week. He's an angry motherfucker.
Really?
Well, yeah, when it comes to like this whole like political like COVID thing, he's got like some very serious.
Yeah, he's a hippie.
I have some thoughts on that too.
Yeah, well, thoughts are cool, but like very, very sure, angry. That's I want to stay clear of that. I want to be careful how.
All right, meditation. 4 minutes. Go. Alright, done.
Yeah. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Oh,
What's
remember
up?
me from last time? Hey.
Sierra, nice to meet you.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, whoa, look at your shirt. Look at her born and raised shirt.
You know?
We got one here.
I got one.
Yeah.
Alex and both.
One of my good friends at work, I guess it's his friend's company, so
Yeah.
he got me a couple shirts. Oh.
Oh,
Nah,
I really got into that meditation.
They are
Okay.
so cute. They're the size of a little small.
Paul, you're sitting in my lap.
No good luck with your car.
We're right here on 52. 52, bottom paragraph.
Ryan, Paul.
What's up, Paul?
To give a simple illustration, some people find that at a certain stage of their progress, their mental processes become so orderly and clarified that with a little treatment, they can go through their day's work, keep all their appointments, and discharge all their duties without bothering to consult the clock or needing to carry a watch. Now it has sometimes happened that one of their friends, knowing about this and desiring to emulate them, has taken the simple step of leaving his watch at home and ignoring the clock, with the result that he is late for all his appointments, thus upsetting his own day's work and that of other people too, whose convenience he did not trouble to study. When the student is spiritually ready to dispense with his watch, he will find himself doing the right thing at the right time without thinking about a watch at all. Whereas when he has to make special arrangements to discard his watch, and then he finds himself late for engagements, it is proof that he is not yet ready to demonstrate in that particular. The proper course for such a person is to carry a watch, work to a timetable, and devote his treatments to things that really matter, such as healing himself and others, overcoming sin, working for understanding and wisdom, and so on. So it is with the larger issue of life. The spiritual coming of age cannot be hurried or forced, but must appear in its own good time. When the consciousness is ready, exactly as the following of a bulb can only be the result of natural growth, you have to demonstrate where you are. Let this be for frontlets between your eyes, and write it upon the doorposts of your heart. You have to demonstrate where you are. To seek to demonstrate beyond your understanding is not spiritual. Spiritual development is a matter of growth. And he that believeth shall not unwisely make haste. Fix your attention wholeheartedly upon spiritual things, and meanwhile do all that needs to be done in the orderly way, and without consciously trying to make haste. You will be amazed to discover the pace at which your soul has hastened. So yeah, he's pretty much pounding away at what he was talking about last week, where he's talking about the spiritual progress, and how you have to demonstrate where you're at, like it says. You can't, to put it short, you can't fake the funk. You have to be who you are. Trying to fake it, water's gonna seek its own level, and like going back into what it says, people are gonna know who you are without you even saying a word. It's kind of like you gotta be where you are, where you're at, and you can only demonstrate where you're at, or it's gonna show. You can't say you're all high, mighty, and spiritual if you haven't practiced this way of life, because people will see right through you. I mean, it's pretty simple. So I like how it talks about not needing a watch. Like if you're where you need to be mentally and spiritually, you don't need a watch. You don't need. I might not even need this book if I'm living this life the right way. You'll just see it and I'll know it and I'll live it. I won't even need this book, even though it says to keep reading through it. I'll always need this book. I can never say that I've reached spiritual mastery, because there's always something to learn. Once I say I've learned everything, I become unteachable. And for alcoholics like me with an ego that's remarkable, not the way to go. Once I think I'm unteachable and my ego comes back, I may as well not even be around any of you, because I can't learn anything, and I can't give of myself what's been given to me. I'm unteachable, which means I can't teach either. You know, my ego will get in the way. I won't be able to tolerate. I'll break the code of love and tolerance. That's all I got.
Well, what's up with the recap?
We didn't even recap.
I know.
We can go back through the recap.
We're supposed to do that, right, Billy? Who's running this meeting?
Well, I mean, that was kind of a thing. It wasn't written in.
I think that's a good thing.
I'll do recap.
Because we have people here that were not here last week,
That's true.
in there and present with us right now. So a recap, not like just last week, just kind of like, I don't even remember what it was last week.
Keep it in overflow.
So we're not in the Beatitudes anymore.
No, we're in As a Man Thinketh, and that's what it's talking about. I'll read last week's paragraph.
Well, no, we don't need to read it. We just need to just kind of give it a quick little.
Well, I don't remember either.
So basically, I feel like what we're talking about right now, and what we were talking about last week, was if you're living this way, things are going to affect you more profoundly than they would if you weren't, and you kind of you'll know, people will know, like you were saying, people will just notice.
Yeah.
Without you even having to say anything. And you will notice.
I'm recapping a few weeks ago.
Oh, it said something about the laws, and I was saying how that could be dangerous for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't follow rules already as it is. So if you tell me that I don't need to follow rules, but I think what they were saying, Billy, was something more about societal laws or rule. If something could be a law or a rule, but if it doesn't feel right. in
Those are
your
called
heart,
outer rules.
If you're
So,
living by a certain
by your
spirit,
outer rules, right? So you're getting your spiritual coming of age moment to where outer rules not necessarily don't apply to you, but I'm not gonna say you're above them, but you know better, right?
so you can make exceptions to the rule based on your connection and your heart.
I remember now.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you're living a spiritual life and living by principle, you're just automatically going to follow the rules because
You won't need man-made rules.
you
Right.
have your
That's
own
what I
moral
said
code.
last
You
week.
don't
Your
want
own
to
moral
hurt people.
compass. Yeah.
Yeah, there might be a rule that allows you to do something, but you know in your heart it's not the right thing to do, so you don't do it.
Right.
Even if it is allowed.
And that's when I went to the book where it says the occasional hunch or inspiration becomes a working part of the mind. You become to rely upon it. That's what it said on page 86 or 7.
There's a
Good
lot
book.
of shit in business ethic, business that's allowed, that's just obviously not right morally. If you the whole capitalistic society way of living is people are getting away with shit that's probably not ethical, but it's okay if you look at the rules, it's okay to buy the company and fucking split it up into a million pieces and thousands of people lose their jobs. You didn't break any rules, but would you have done that if you were like connected to a power? Maybe there's a better way to.
They're man-made laws.
Well, I think it's saying that you're not getting away with it. At the end of the day, you have to have a reckoning, right? So so if you've tapped in spiritually, you're not doing a bunch of shady stuff. You wouldn't do that because you've already tapped into the higher principles that God's radiating. So you're not, that I was when you were reading, I was thinking a lot about when I first got sober. My experience was like I wanted to make everything right. I want to make it right with my parents. I want to make it right with that, but that's way down in the steps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because the first thing I had to do was admit I was powerless, right?
Right.
And then I had to admit I was crazy, and then I had to come to terms with the God of mind understanding and turn it over before I even began to do the work. Mm-hmm. And then like making the amends and stuff was real far down because right when we first come in, I want to make it right for me. I fucked up, and I want you to know that I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, but when we make amends, right, it's not about me, it's about you. And you can't figure that out till you've handled your own baggage and taken a look at what a fuckwit you are, right? Because isn't that what like going through the fourth step, you have the big ahas, it's all me. I'm the only one who's fucking here. Yeah, I set myself up for a bad business deal. I got involved with a lame chick. I did this, I did that, I did it. No one else did it to me. I was there. So then when you get to the making the amends step, now it's not about me. It's about you. And then I learned I remember hearing the crazy part is what is the 10th step? Made amends wherever possible, right?
And when you're wrong, promptly admit it.
But in the newly sober mind, it's when. Like right now, I got to do this shit right now. But in this real sober reality, it's where. Because I was explained that's God's time. God is where, because that's randomness and like God's orchestrating the flow of the thing. When I want to fucking fix it now, dude. I want it now, dude. I want you to like me again now, dude. Instead of realizing like, oh, I was the fuckwit. It wasn't you, and I needed to like take care of myself before I got to you. So that's kind of, I think, where it is don't jump the shark, man. Like we all come in hot and bothered in life and are like, yeah, I want it now. I'm gonna jump the shark now. It's like, fuck, I'm still learning. You're 16. I'm coming on 11. I'm still figuring out how to tie my shoes, man. You know, not flip out about fucking bullshit, dude. I came home from a camping trip, man, and I was up in my wife's shit about she left some fucking soda and it spilled all over. But it was me. I was the one who came in all fucking amped off the road, fucking. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I fucking made the trouble. Yeah, she didn't. She left some shit just sitting out. But I'm the one who fucking
turned it into a
made it into a thing, dude. So I made trouble, dude. It wasn't. I'm the one who did it.
You knocked it over.
I knocked it over, but yeah, I could get on. I got on the whole trip that I shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? I wouldn't have knocked it over. But then again, if I had just paused when agitated and been like, wait a minute, like you're all off the road. She was chilling. Yeah. What the fuck?
Clean up your own wreckage.
Yeah. So so it's that thing of like I've realized the last couple days, me personally, I've had to go back and retrace my steps a couple times. I was a real dick to some guy at the door at REI last week. I could have just let it go and just walked away, but I had to drive around the block, park, get out of the car, walk up to this dude and be like, dude, you know what? I treated you like a dick, man, and that ain't right. And he's like, it's no big deal. I go, it is a big deal. Because even though we live in this new world, I'll die if I don't make that shit right. I'll drink. I'll carry that around with me. Fuck, I'll be up in San Francisco now. Like I gotta turn around, drive back to fucking apologize to that guy. I may never find him again. Yeah. I get to carry that for the rest of my life. But I should have just not been a dick right from the get-go.
Well, that's what it said a few paragraphs ago, that the punishment is harder on yourself once you're living this way of life. It's better to not even know this shit than to start practicing it and get a taste of it, because the punishment is harder on yourself. Once you have a moral compass, if you break your stride, go the wrong way, it's going to be harder on you to get back.
I love that when you have to do that, drive around the block or even a few miles, and you have to go back, and you gotta think, my ego, like, this guy's gonna think I'm a freak, and all that, but I don't No, it rectifies, and not only does it rectify, but it puts like the right vibe out there, you know? That's so cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. This is a good one, and I don't really know. I'm not really gonna be speaking so much on the reading. I just wanna stay in this place of like making shit right, like right away, but like how that is so hard sometimes. Sometimes I'm not gonna go back to the thing and make REI and say sorry. Sometimes I go on a rant and I could make it even worse, and then I keep making it worse. So like I would love to know if anyone can talk a little bit about like, well, like you said, it's ego.
Yeah.
Like, why is it so hard for me to just walk up to Danielle
Or YouTube.
and just be like, I'm sorry for yelling at you. Remember when I was yelling at you at the Halloween party?
Yeah, and I yelled right back.
I was just like, no, but I was just like on one, you know?
He was on one, and I was like,
I had a lot of reasons for why I should be on one. And there are reasons sometimes. We're under stress, we're trying to do a lot of different things, and in the name of sobriety and helping others, you know, but we're like hurting people right around us. So like, when I went up to you and I was like, sorry, do you know how scared I was that you were gonna be like, you're always fucking saying sorry, fool.
Yeah, my sponsor says.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I was afraid that she was gonna take getting vulnerable with people and saying sorry, and my worst fear is for them to be like, whatever, dude, you're never gonna change, and not accept my apology. But I'm not, like you were saying, it's not for me. It's for them, and it's always like, oh, I'm sorry, like, for me, so you can be like, oh, it's okay, I'm not mad at you anymore, because you just said sorry, right?
Yeah.
Like, did you say sorry to her?
My wife?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you still haven't?
No, it was that's why I'm like sitting here like I'm a fucking douche.
Oh, so but like, so you'll
I know it. No, that's what I mean is like there's like lag time sometimes.
So you'll make it right like tonight or tomorrow.
It's yeah, I got to make it right somehow, but it's different in like a marriage, man. Like I can speak.
Are you still married?
Yeah, it's there's moving parts. Like shit was just going, dude. You know, I got the kid, the thing. Like it's only when I sat here and was calm enough, right? I don't know what someone was saying, and I was like, oh, yeah, because I hadn't stopped.
Yeah.
I've been on the move since 7 o'clock this morning. I've been up in the Sierra. So, and I'm going to tie this into together, and I don't know if we can talk right now. What I think a lot of it is we aren't alone enough with unforgiving circumstances. I was up in the Sierras, and there's no one around. It's off season. Me and my boy 4x down into this fucking crazy place. And it was gnarly, dude. Like I remember being like, all right, and he was kind of like, we're doing it, and we got down there miles, like 10 miles down into this like meadow, and I remember sitting there being like, fuck, dude, like, there's no buffer. I don't get to make amends. I got to do this shit perfectly. Like, I got to climb this car up through these trees and over these rocks and through this shit, and like get out of there. And I was like, it brought me back to earth, and then I fuck it up the minute I touch base with the humans.
So you're saying if you would have made a mistake, you would have just
I'd still be up in the mountains, like with a broken car.
Right.
No help, no nothing, fucking nowhere. But I was so on it that I was in tune with it. But I get back here, I can be all sloppy, dude. I got time, I can circle back around, I can, oh, sorry, text her, I can do this, I can make the lap around. Like, there's no wiggle room in nature. Right? Like, I don't know, man. How to fix that shit.
I just wanted to expose just how difficult it can be.
Tough.
And I want to, like, look at that because it happens and the ego is like, no, like, I don't want to let this go. I want to keep being upset. It's like, what is that?
You'll learn in some way, other way. You're gonna keep learning until you finally learn. It's
All
hard,
right,
man.
anybody? That was a nice recap. Thanks, guys.
Well, no,
Mikey's next.
Mikey alcoholic.
Oh, Mikey.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yawning, looking the other way. No, just to touch on this subject about, because like I deal with that on a daily basis. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of this for me is I always try to go back to ego, and this is just me personally, not for anyone else. But you can pick it up if you want. Edging God out. I edge God out of the situations that I shouldn't, and it's it goes back to Thy will be done, God's will, like, and the power to carry that out. That's like, I read that this morning, and that's like something I wish I would read every single day, because if I say my will, my day's fucked, my life is fucked, my family's fucked, job, work, whatever I want to do. So if I can on a daily basis try and say, okay, God, your will, I believe that my God, the God that I believe in, will guide me through that. So it goes back to resentments, like, you know, holding on to a resentment for me kills me inside. And I think that it's gonna, if I feel a certain way towards a certain person, I think they're not gonna feel shit. It's me. It's me that suffers and likes the suffering and likes the chaos and likes this pain or whatever. But I just have to let God take control. So that's something that I've experienced recently, of having to let certain things go, even though it feels, me personally, it feels good to be angry. But it doesn't last. It just doesn't last, because then my head will go so far left. It's like, you said you have 11 years, right? You're still trying to figure out tying your shoes? Look at my shoes. I just gave up I have 17 years and I gave up trying to tie my shoes. I pick my battles today. I literally pick my battles when it comes to getting frustrated or getting upset. I'm emotional. I'm probably the only emotional person here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I'm an emotional person, so if I'm resting on my will, then everyone around me is fucked. Kind of like Paul said, right? If we're not doing this, if I'm not doing this and living it, then I have no business opening my mouth. So stop edging God out, Mikey. Go ahead. Pass.
Thanks, Mikey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Just want to follow up on it. You crystallize what it was the difference. When I was out in the woods, I prayed when I got up. I remember praying at the top of the hill before we dropped in. I got down at the bottom, I prayed. When we were sitting at the bottom of the hill, I was sitting there, I was like, all right, God, like, guide us up the thing, no flat tires, no whammies, like, guide me up, God. I prayed the entire trip, and I didn't pray when I got home before I entered my house and let God walk in before me. I fully let ego run roughshod, because I'm back home, my home, and I didn't stop and pray, and that was the difference. Thanks for clarifying.
No, but and just like, because Pat just said, like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that? I don't know if there's an answer, because I've done a lot of things not perfect. The only thing I've done perfect for myself is not pick up drugs or alcohol. Everything else is a learning curve. Yeah. Everything else is an experience, and everything else is learning to lose. If I go, you put one foot in front of the other, one foot. Something happens that's never happened before, what are you going to do? You're either going to take a step back or you're going to keep moving forward. And that's where I wish there was an answer to, why don't I always take God? Because God is always with me. And it goes back to, Mikey has to be willing to go into the house and say, okay, God, lead my steps, like lead my thoughts, lead my conversation, and you know, being married, having a kid, this, A, B, and C. Why do I pick and choose what I ask God for direction in?
I mean, I think sometimes we just forget. I just forget.
All the time.
Billy Alcoholic, so you guys are really hitting on the nuts and bolts. I remember we used to talk a lot about this, how God's will for us, you know, is always going to be better and more interesting and vital.
Yeah.
And to actually give up our will for God's will is going to place us where our heart will most be filled. You know, like, will be placed in the job, the career, with the right woman, the position, the situation, no matter how fucked up our circumstances look at the moment. And I find that true for myself. I mean, even now, I just went through a split up. My life looked like it was gonna be just fucking charred and nuked, and not, you know, nuked for the next 250,000 years, you know, the half-life of a, whatever, plutonium or whatever. It's only 5 months later, and my life's so much better. I mean, I live in a nicer place, I'm getting my shit together with work, my relationship with my girl is tight. Her mom's just suddenly chilled out. I don't know. God did something to her, or something happened.
Amazing.
And, you know, I was just telling my cousin that right now on the phone on the way over here on the 405, like, you gotta let go. Like, you got to let go to be where you're supposed to be. You know? Like here. Like, I have an influence. I had no idea the value of having a following, right? Because I've been writing my whole life, and it would end up in a pile of papers and then eventually in the trash. Now I can speak it, and other people can hear it.
You're writing on the TikTok post?
Or I'll write it and I'll reiterate it, you know?
Couldn't read what
I
you
know.
need to, like,
I
write
was
it.
on one.
I couldn't read what it said.
I was on one this
I
morning.
wish you would have wrote it more.
It's my hieroglyphics. That's my good writing. So.
What was it? It was
Basically, I
it was a
addressed.
9 step or something?
No, I addressed the haters.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, dude, don't do that.
So I'll just tell you what I said. I said, oh, fuck, what did I say?
But were you addressing, like, people, their reaction to, like, what we just recently did?
And in general.
Yeah, it's definitely been,
I
like,
said
interesting.
some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
It's been interesting for us right now because we're making, like, everything, like, public, and we've also sort of attracted a lot of, like, alcoholics who are not the most stable. Somebody recently just said this to me. Who was it? Somebody said, well, yeah, like, Noah. He was like, yeah, like, you've built a whole fan base who's, like, unstable, selfish alcoholics. They're obviously going to, like, spit venom.
Yeah.
And they are, and then it, like, hurts us. And then we want to, like, attack back, but... So we're just...
I didn't attack, though. I just gave
No, yeah.
I gave a description and a solution.
And you don't remember what it was. It was something about...
Can you check the if you remind me, I'll
Can I
Yeah.
comment on this one as I'm one of these people?
Yeah.
Not on yours, but as a dude who's been doing it for 11 years.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you the secret right here, right now. Fucking let your people defend you.
Yeah.
Your crowd will take care of it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
learned that early on, dude. Just
Yeah,
stay out
these
of it.
guys
Just
right
stay
here.
out of it, man.
Yeah.
Don't bring that negative. That's what they feed on. The minute you go there, they're vampires, dude. You don't know who they are.
Yeah.
They're fucking, all they want is fucking Billy to come join them in their fucking hate, man.
Their misery.
Don't do it. Just stay clean of it, man. I'm telling you, dude. I learned that one. You're one, dude. Like,
But
just
I mean...
let them have it, dude.
Yeah, that's sort of the rule.
Yeah.
But I'm actually willing to...
Can't get your feelings hurt then, man.
No, I know. I'm willing to, like, talk a little bit about it and just, like, send a little love in that direction once in a while. But mostly I don't even like it.
I'm Sierra, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Sierra.
Sierra.
Welcome.
Kinda. Can I circle back to, like, self-will?
Of course.
Yes.
I was thinking about what was being said, and I was like, so I've been, like, actually sober for, like, many periods. Lately, I'm like, so I am a year and 4 weeks clean off heroin and meth, but I still drink and, like, smoke weed. However, I was thinking about how, like, self-will in my life, like, runs riot all the time. I think it's like when I think about it, it's like when I remember back to periods when I was, like, fully abstinent and, like, working the program, AA is what I normally do. my life was so different, right? When I would do the like morning prayers and like all of the like reading with my sponsor and my step work, I feel like things would just like weirdly line up for me. Like no matter what the circumstance or situation, it would just like weirdly work itself out. And I'm fine with where I am, like now I guess, in most ways. But I do constantly like think back and like reflect on the moments when I was fully abstinent. And like right now I'm like fully aware that I am self-will run riot, like all the time. Like I'm doing everything on my own. Whatever I decide to do is what I do. And it does cause so many problems in like my relationships, my workplace. I work in treatment, so it's like I'm great at my job, but like normal things like when my boss sits me down and we're having a conversation, she says something I don't like. Instead of having the reaction I would if I was like sober, where I just like be able to handle it, I'm like more angry. I think anger is like my you were saying, Mikey, is like my way of knowing I'm like not in the right place. Cause I'm like raging out. Like say one wrong thing and like I'm off. Like that's it. You know what I mean? So I think it's interesting. I feel like, but I wonder, like lastly, I just wonder, like, I don't know if it has to do with my using or not. Sometimes I think it's just the fact that I have convinced myself, right, because of being in AA since I was like a literal child, that it's like one or the other. Seriously, I came in when I was 12. So it's like one or the other. To me, it's like I'm fully sober and living in God's will, or I'm using and I'm like, fuck the world, like fuck the system. And I'm starting to like try to figure out how to mesh them, right? Like I am clean off the drugs that like really ruined my life. Can I like manage and handle my drinking? You know what I'm saying? And still maintain like a spiritual life. So that's kind of the like thing that I'm thinking. As
Well,
you guys are talking.
thanks for coming. I hope you can come more.
Yeah.
Because this is what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
We're trying to have. I think we can have a place where not everybody needs to be abstinent from drugs and alcohol. Like my wife isn't. She's fucking chilling. But she's not an alcoholic. But I think there are different degrees. And I don't know. I don't really. Who are we to say? All we know is that, like you said, when we're like when I'm really doing this, things are like pretty good.
Right.
But I'm also sober 15 years. I've never had a period of time where I was doing this and also like smoking weed on the side. I don't know though. I'm not like, I don't want to be on some judging shit though. I just want to, all I'm saying is this is what we all should do this. Like all humans, right?
I got really angry today.
Who are you?
I'm Rudy,
Hi,
and I'm
Rudy.
an alcoholic.
Hey, Rudy.
And I didn't have any self-control over and I really didn't have any control over anything that was happening.
Oh, with the trash guys.
With the trash guys, I was just trying to get someone to fucking come and pick up these trash cans because we have all this trash from Halloween, and I was so angry. And not only was I angry, but I wasn't making the choice to try to subside it and redirect my thought. I was like, oh, I'm pissed. I'm gonna go bring my anger to Pat and multiply it and be enraged with him. And it was now that I'm thinking about it, I shouldn't have done that because I was doing step work with Danielle last night, and that's supposed to make me feel better. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like I should be able to recognize more so when I'm being irrational and when I'm multiplying my anger instead of subsiding it. But it was, I wanted to yell at this dude and I didn't even know him. He was tell me your name, and I was like, why do you fucking need to know my name? No, it's not my house.
Oh, yeah.
It's not my trash. Anyway, I need to work on that, but I don't really have great self-control right now. What would you guys say that, Pat's told me a lot of what to do on how to redirect my thought, but, Mikey, what do you do when you're, loving being mad? You know?
I sometimes I sit in it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will sit in that. I mean, it's like my journey of recovery has been a learning. Like, I don't know shit. I'm still, Paul says it, like, I need to be teachable.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. I know I have today, and today has been a good day. And it's going to continue to be a good night, obviously, because I'm here with my people. We're doing our thing. But, I mean, when I leave here, God knows what's going to happen. I can't trip about that. But in the moment, when I get angry or I get emotional, or I mean, I used to drink and use drugs no matter what I felt.
Same.
So, to me, that says I'm an alcoholic. So if I use drugs because I was happy, sad, excited, let's celebrate, let's get fucked up, right? Like, I still, like, with a lot of time clean and sober, I'm still like, I'm angry, let me celebrate my anger.
Yeah.
Like, and that gets me absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
But thankfully I have people in my life that I trust, and therapy, like, I mean, I have, like, you have what you need, you know, and that's what I'm grateful for, is that what we get out of this, and we're trying to take this to other people. Like, you can be a help to somebody who has 18 days, 15 days, 2 weeks. It's like, what are they gonna do? You know, so it's like, if you sit in it, you sit in it, but it's gonna get, for me, it's like, if I'm living in that, I'm gonna be miserable, and my life is going to unravel. So that's why I have to, like, say, okay, well, this person, that person, like, today I have choices. Without drugs and alcohol in my life, I have choices. So I get to choose where I go, who I see, what I do. I'm not a slave to substance. So, I mean, just do what you're doing right now. It's like, you shared about it. You shared about a situation where you're like, why does it fucking matter who my name is? Like, you were frustrated, right? So, but if we don't talk about it, it festers inside of us, and then the next time you're gonna fucking really freak out, or I'm gonna really freak out and lose absolute control. So just keep doing what you're doing.
But also, we were listening to that Chelsea Handler thing last night,
Yeah.
and she was saying that, like, empathy, and there's a difference between sympathy and empathy.
Yeah.
So, like, sympathy is like, oh, I feel bad for you. I don't want to, like, even think about what it would be like to be you.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, oh, I feel bad for you,
Yeah.
right? But empathy is like, ooh, what's it like to be that dude on the phone? Like,
Yeah.
what's your need?
Yeah.
Like, dudes trying to just do a job.
Yeah.
And I'm like the worst.
I
Oh
felt
my
so
god.
bad.
I've been, you think you are mean to those people? I get on the phone and text support people, and I'm just like, it's a fucking shit show. And it's like, what do you, like, there's this amazing David Foster Wallace speech called This Is Water, or oh my god, I feel like the next meeting we should just listen to this fucking, Joe actually showed me this. Have you,
No, I haven't.
so David Foster Wallace was this writer who actually killed himself from alcoholism, I'm pretty sure. And he wrote this thing about, like, how the fish are like, what's water like? But they're like in the water, but they don't know it. And it was kind of about, like, going through your life in your own world, like in your own bubble, but not recognizing, like, just being angry at the person in front of you online at the grocery store, and then the check cashier's not acting right. And the way he explains it in this talk he does at, like, this college, he would go to colleges and do these talks, and somebody took the talk and put it on YouTube and made all these, like, cool. And then he started talking about, like, all the different things that all the people were going through in their lives, and it just, like, it's an emotional, the way he describes it is very touching and emotional, because, like, the check cashier person has been there all day ringing up groceries, and they barely have enough money to, like, you know, keep their family fed, and everyone has their own stuff they're going through. So for me, to answer your question, the best thing for me, the best way for me to not be mad at other people is just to try to have empathy. And I'm always wanting to try to put myself in someone else's shoes. Like, sometimes it's impossible, but I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's fucking Donald Trump or fucking the person on the phone at the fucking Waste Management. I'm like, what would it be like to be that person. So I don't know, and I'm not gonna get mad because I know that I'm for sure a dick sometimes, and people don't give me an inch. People are like, that fool's a fucking asshole, and I'm like, yeah, but wait, like, you don't understand, like, all this shit I'm dealing with, you know? And if they understood, then they would have empathy. So where can I have empathy, you know?
Personally, I'm surprised they don't hang up on you. I've watched you do that. Just tossing his phone around. And
They do. They hang up on me all the time. And I get even more mad. And then I call back, and the person that has to get me the second time gets it even worse. I'm like, you motherfuckers just hung up on me. Now, like, it's just that we're perpetuating we're making it worse, not better.
Yeah.
Are we timing anymore or not?
We should be.
All right.
I was thinking about what you were saying, Sierra, about like when I first got here, I didn't even know there was happiness. I was just like angry at fucking everything, right? And like, and I kind of know what it is because I've had a child, I've seen him born, I've had a lot of good shit go on, and I've come back from the abyss. But my old touchstone is there's like, all I know is what I don't want it to look like. Like the guy at the REI, it's like, it wasn't an empathy thing or any of that. It was just like, I knew whatever was how I was feeling, I know that's not how I want to feel. Like, I know that's not right. So why is that not right? It's this dude over here. I gotta have empathy for him, and I gotta go play the script out and it was good. But it's that weird thing is I had to go explore my darkness so radically that, like, I know it. Like, there's nobody more fucked up than me and I gotta always be like, I don't know where it goes. Like how far, like, I can slip like a drink or that type of thing, like how far that darkness will go. Cause right, you were talking about, the thing is, like, because we've turned ourselves onto this path, like, we're super accountable. So if I turn my back on God and flip God off, how far will I go? Cause now I have all this truly explored darkness, man. Like, I fully, like, made peace with it, and, like, was like, oh, whoa, that's fucked up, man. Like, but that's part of who I am. All right, God, get here, take it all back. Now I have to always, like, be like, if I let that genie out of the bag, dude, like, what's the line before I just have a homicidal rage on some fucking fool in front of REI? Because I got that. Like, that's why I drank. Because I wanted to fucking kill people, dude. Like, I'd stay up here in the hill and some drink, man. And then you deal with it, and you go, oh, so everything I gauge, I don't know what happiness is. Like, I know what it seems to be. Like, I can look at my son's eyes, and he's my touchstone. When I see him look at me and be like, who the fuck are you? I go, okay, I'm not, that's unhappy. That's not happy. I only know what it is, and I don't know what it is, in a weird way of, like, gauging my life. Like, all I know is I don't want that anymore. If I get anger, I don't want that shit, man. Because I don't know where that trails off to. That bunny trails, whoa, over there. So I gotta correct constantly. I don't have any space left for it anymore. Like, I don't have I'll drink before I kill you. You know what I mean? And I'll drink after I kill you too. So why don't I fucking not even get that crazy on the phone with Andy? Let me just go apologize to this fucking guy at REI and go, dude, please, bro, like, it's all good. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to live like that anymore. Because I did it for so long. I was such a dick for so long, man. And I'm still a dick to my core, who I am. And it's a journey. I get it, man.
I was just gonna say really quick, in response to something he just said, was like, that's what trips me up though. It really fucks with me because I'm fully aware, like, if I pick up practically anything else other than what I use, I'm done. I'll be homeless again, I'll lose everything. I know that. But the fucked up part is, like, I always think about, like, I refer to the big book weirdly and like my justifications. And I'll be like, okay, so it talks about like if you can drink like a gentleman, right? And so, or like handle, if like the test they talk about, right? Like go to a bar, get a drink, leave. Try to do it multiple times. The problem is I can do that. Like I can have wine nights and have a glass of wine. I think the problem is like that because to me it's like if I use heroin, I lose everything. So it's very clear that I can't manage that. But I can like manage my drinking 90% of the time. The other problem that comes into play though is like, yeah, like suicidal ideation. Like when I start drinking every day, then like I want to fucking die. I'm like, this is awful. I'm so depressed. And that's what's like fucked up because it's like, but every day, like even if I have a night, right, where I get super fucking blackout drunk and I want to die, I'll wake up the next morning and like shower and wash my face and be like, no, you're just being dramatic. You're literally fine. Like that, I know I'm an alcoholic though. That's even more fucked up part. Like I'm very aware that I'm an alcoholic and I see it in everything I do. I think it really just comes down to the fact that like, I don't think I'm willing to give up my darkness. Like going back to that, I'm in love with darkness. Like, I love the darkness. I'm not one of those people that like wants to live this like, I mean I know no one really does, but I just like, I think that's my problem. I have like a fucked up relationship with like the darkness itself, which like keeps me excited and like keeps me on this like path that I'm on. Because it seems like I can't really just like cut that off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody just asked, is that Hamish?
Yeah.
Wyatt Clark.
Wow.
Or wait. Scott Kipple.
Going out.
So cool, our YouTube start colliding
Yeah.
like a little bit.
You guys hit a lot of things. Billy, alcoholic, drug addict, and this is something Jordan Peterson talks about and kind of backs up for me. Like, I also know my dark side, and I know I could do the most fucked up shit. The people that are locked away for life. That I'm very clear I could go there. And you know, I was locked up for my entire teenage years, and not for doing anything terrible, just for drugs, and basically became a ward of the court. But so many things stirring in my head. But Jordan Peterson talks about this when he does lectures in colleges. It's like, okay, everyone hates the Nazis, right? They're the worst. Oh, the fucking Nazis, fuck them. But the Nazis are actually people. And there were a lot of people, and they weren't all demons. So, like the whole empathy thing, what if you were in a situation where you were coerced to be part of this party? Like, I even see it happening now. I'm not going to get into politics, but, you know, you can't say certain things and all this shit, and you get canceled, and it's a little weird. So, and everyone here is in love with the darkness, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And it says in the big book, like, to choose a life of slow, hellish death or a spiritual toolkit or some shit like that is a hard decision for people like us.
Yep.
We don't know what fucking happiness is. I know what hell's like. And people talk about kids. That's the closest I can get to like love and happiness. I have a daughter. But it's not, you know, it's not what I think it is. It's not fucking. It's not the nice car. It's not the big bank account. It's not being admired or having big muscles and whatever the fuck I think it is. It's not that. The closest I can get to it, and he said it, prayer, like all the time, on the mountain, in the valley, you know? That's like the nuts and bolts for me, because when it comes down to it, there is no you. It's me and God. That's all there is. If you don't want to call it God, it's me and something. You're next. And I just can't tolerate the misery, you know? Like, I can't be mean to somebody for very long because it affects me. It's not even about the other person. And I will hurt people, especially myself, and I hurt for 45 years. I'm kind of done hurting, you know? I've kind of thrown in the towel, you know? And thanks everybody for your shares. I appreciate it. Rudy,
Forgot what I was gonna say.
just tell us something.
I really forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it's not. I don't know, being an adult, like after you're not a kid anymore, and especially if you felt like a lot of sorrow in your adolescence, and you were exposed to that darkness at a really young age. I'm not really focused on like happiness as much as I used to be. It's more so about like peace. Like I need to just not want an immediate reaction from everything. Like not fall into those alcoholic tendencies where I, always want to get instant gratification. Like just being able to be and being able to like do this, like this is the closest thing I think as an adult that like people like us can get to happiness, because it's a sense of commisery and peace, because you get to be around a group of people who understand you. And I mean, I don't really know if you can. I guess you can find peace by yourself and with prayer, but like I think like 2 weeks ago, Danielle and Pat and I went to dinner, and I was like, I need someone with skin on. It's like I need someone to talk back to me and to be in it with me, so I'm not like alone in it. And I mean, yeah, you can talk to God all the time and you can surmise what he's saying back to you, but like in reality I get more peace from like the community of this.
Why do you think I text everybody and call everybody like every day?
Yeah, it's dope.
I need people.
Fuck yeah.
Sometimes in the middle of the night I can't sleep and I'll just text somebody I know, be like blah blah blah.
Yeah, we're gonna get everyone's number. We're gonna get a little list going.
Oh yeah,
Maybe I wonder if we could do it on, like, not on a piece of paper, because it's 2020.
What if we text community? We text the community number.
Yeah, that's like.
Well, no, we
Like,
all,
everyone
everyone that's here needs to have a name and a number for everyone that's here.
You should just make a notes.
And it was really
Share.
cool also, Corey, to have you jump in and what you
It
read.
was so rad to be able to be out of town in my hotel room watching.
Wow.
I got off work and I made it and kind of got on a little late just because we worked late. But to be able to be a part of it at all.
Yeah.
But I was honored that you were, that you read what I wrote.
Yeah, you put it.
I missed you too, yeah.
You put it really well. I can't remember exactly what it was you were saying, but do you have anything you want to add to any of this?
Well, this feels like a continuation of that same thought, a lot of what we're talking about tonight. And what you said early kind of struck a chord with me about, praying here, praying there when you're in the wilderness. It's a place where I'm comfortable. And then you get back home and you didn't, because it's like comfortable. My ego says, oh, I got this. I don't need to pray because I got it. But that's a mistake. There is no place where you don't pray. There's no place where you got it,
Right.
And I think that was what I was thinking then, was that there's no situation that I encounter that doesn't require prayer, even when I think I got it, because then the ego steps in, and I put that in place of God every time. And then, Rudy, what you were saying, you were asking like, what do you do when you're entertained by your anger? I don't remember exactly how you said it, but you're loving your anger. And you said you wanted to bring it to Pat. You're like, I want somebody to enjoy it with, or bring it to God. Bring it to prayer and say, what do you want me to do with this anger? Like, how do you want me to deal with it? How can I unleash my wrath on this guy? And he's probably not going to say,
He's not gonna say go for it.
Go for it, yeah, right. But it's prayer all the time. Like Billy was just saying, it's not between me and that person. It's always between me and God. And if I'm gonna do that, I gotta turn my back on God and then go do this over here where I think he's not looking. and that's when I get in trouble. It's keeping that open conversation and knowing that he's there. He's always there.
Yeah.
He's always available. So it's just prayer. Always open conversation with God all the time. What does God think of this situation? What would He have me do here? That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
Nice
you.
to have you here. What job were you on?
It was a commercial. I don't know if I can say on camera. It's a
You were just on a commercial?
Yeah.
In where?
Cupertino.
Oh,
I know what it is.
Oh, but it was like, that's in
Wow.
California or something?
It's a kind of a fruit.
Whatever.
Yeah. It was for Apple, but they have like a real strong NDA.
Wow,
like,
you're doing
they're
them
like crazy.
big boy jobs. Hell yeah.
I was just working as a.
And then the stream
Yeah.
goes.
Shut up.
They're scary though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lights
yeah,
go off.
Why don't we read a little bit?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I don't even know
Sure.
like what we're talking about anymore.
Next paragraph.
It doesn't matter, bro.
Is it
I
my
mean,
turn?
honestly, most
That's you, Ryan.
most meetings are just like you just go around and you share.
Yeah.
This is just a
Yeah.
nice way to.
So can I just pass around a piece of paper and we can get a
No,
list?
we'll get numbers. We'll get it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, no, you can just open up a
Notes.
notes on the phone and everyone can put their name and number in it, and then we have it in the notes. Just do that.
Billy likes to.
I like pen and paper. And I like cash
yeah,
too.
well,
Old school.
I like the original Nintendo, and now we have like
PlayStation 5.
I liked America Online.
Yeah.
AOL.
Hey, old Chad.
Fucking love MySpace.
Same. I was like a MySpace celeb.
Were you?
Damn, is that in your resume? Tila Tequila?
Yeah, I know.
Tequila tequila.
Alright,
Hollywood
so
Undead.
we're on
Yeah.
we're on page 53,
Hollywood
bottom
Undead.
paragraph.
This was my name.
Alright.
Ready?
They got signed on MySpace. They had never made a single song.
And then also, by the way, this is rad, dude. We have people in here that are like, this is so amazing that they're able to be in here, and this is exactly what they needed to hear right now. This I can't thank you enough for this meeting. It's exactly what I needed. And then like same. It's just wow, this is powerful. Just people,
You would.
50 people and this is just the beginning of it. We're streaming live. There's fucking.
I like this. Someone said, I
Weird.
found my community. In this community, I feel connected. Like, that's
great.
exactly what we're doing.
Great.
Can I say one more thing about this that online community?
Yeah.
In writing that, in having responses within the chat,
Yeah.
there's a conversation within that outside of this conversation,
Yes.
which,
Yeah.
which is based on this conversation, but then it's an inner ring. It's another level
Yeah.
of conversation where people are encouraging each other and talking to each other
Yeah.
outside of this conversation.
And that's
Cool.
like the goal. But also, I think the difference between this and what you get in the Zoom meeting is like something's happening here that doesn't happen in Zoom meeting. We're in person, right? And I hear a lot of people say like they miss that. I'm looking at you.
Oh yeah, man.
Everybody. Yeah.
So we get to have that magic is happening here, but then we also have they're experiencing this, and they're able to have and we're like paying attention to make sure if anyone has questions they can. And then also it's not AA, it's anything. It's whoever just wants to look at how they can have a better, more fulfilled life with meaning, purpose, and accountability.
Be a better person.
Yeah, and try to be a little bit better of a person, and also, I think, have more peace in your life and less fear.
Well, it's
Paralyzed by
the
fear.
reconstitution of it all. It's
The
like
what?
it's like AA for me is like it used to be like my bread is dead to me. Like it died when the door shut during the beginning of the coup. Like
Right.
fuck AA, dude. But I believe the big book. I hold it solemn. But their anonymous bullshit
Hold
fucking
on.
almost killed me, man.
Go get it.
Sorry.
You know?
I gotta go get it.
So like it's like a new thing where it's like all are welcome. I think everybody's struggling right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the world's on fire, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
everyone's polarized and spun out, but we're all God's.
Yeah, these are our new.
We're all like here with God, and I bet if we pulled this room,
I need that.
These are our new.
oh, those are sick.
We're not anonymous.
We're not.
anymore.
No,
What
no.
the fuck?
And then it
Can I
has
see
the
front?
Serenity Prayer. It's just the learning to lose.
What?
Yeah,
I need
just to
that.
show all the.
But it's that thing, like, right? We all
Coming
we need
soon.
electromagnetic energy.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like, I think all of us have been sitting on the sidelines. Like, we need human contact without the bullshit masks and fear and nonsense and like.
Yeah, we'll be giving these out soon.
I don't know, man. That was the beauty of AA was that everybody had a no politics, no bullshit, and it's all falling apart.
But I
so now
also
we gotta
love
come together
AA
like
too.
under God.
I don't like the anonymous part because I feel like a lot of people all over the world are missing it because so many people are afraid to talk about it. Even on like Joe Rogan, like Rob Lowe went on, and he's got like 20, 30 years, and he was like scared to even talk about the solution because of the old timers who are gonna be mad at him. Just in case he goes out, he'll be a bad representation of the thing. It's like, go out. People fail. People lose. We're humans. Just because you go to the gym doesn't mean you're gonna get ripped. And just because you get ripped at the gym doesn't mean you're gonna lose it. Like it works regardless, you know, of whether it lasts or not. That's up to the individual.
Mm-hmm.
So let's fucking talk about it. Jesus Christ already.
Well,
It's
we should. Our primary purpose is to help another alcoholic achieve sobriety. How can we do that on a Zoom meeting? When I was a fucking drunk, I didn't have a phone. I was living in my car at the top of some fucking hill. How the fuck would I have gotten sober in 2020? I'll go to a fucking Zoom meeting. I'm so resentful of these old timers with their go to a fucking Zoom meeting
Right.
bullshit. Everyone forgot what it was like to be drunk. I didn't have fucking pot to piss in, dude. I was angry, fucking pissed. I didn't have a fucking phone.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
yeah,
Like,
and then you need to like find the code.
I had to have some
It's
dude
like-
grab my head, pull me into the meeting, go sit down. Here's a cup of coffee. Shut the fuck up. We're going to get some pie afterwards. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
These assholes on their Zoom, I got me on a rant now.
But
'Cause,
I'm just saying-
I almost died this
Yeah.
year. You know what I mean? And I got time, but fortunately I had enough of prime time in me to be like, all right, God is right here, dude. Don't worry. You know?
And we're all over fucking TikTok and Instagram, and this is streaming on YouTube, which everyone has. They can just go to the YouTube and just watch it. And we're on these social media platforms just talking about. It's almost as if I'm at the podium at an AA meeting, just talking to whoever that's following me. Like, I don't give a fuck anymore, dude. And the response has been incredible. People really need to hear this shit, you know, from people like us, like people that look like us, that act like us, that aren't like, you know, Tony Z, even though I love him. But he's just, you know, the kids aren't going to hear what he's talking about.
It is crazy too. I've actually seen you on my For You page.
Oh, really?
Like, I'm not on any type of like 12-step. I don't follow anything like that on TikTok.
Well,
I'm on
that's-
like emo TikTok.
Yeah, well,
Like,
that's the crazy part is that it's not just about AA. Like, my wife's not sober, so we're like a team. Like, she's doing mushrooms and all kinds of crazy shit, and she's healthy. So like we influence each other's algorithm. So we're not just. I'm trying to not be stuck in.
But the point is though is like anything can show up on your For You page.
Yeah.
Like with TikTok. Like
Yeah.
I can be in a certain level of TikTok, and something pops up just randomly.
Just to see if you'll.
And if I watch the video, more will pop up.
Yeah.
Like I've had a weird amount of things pop up on recovery, like people who are struggling that make like these TikToks and they're like, I can't stop getting fucking high.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why is this on my For You page?
Wow.
Right? But like if you watch the video, like the algorithms, that's how you get caught up in certain like scenes on TikTok.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty incredible platform, and I
Yeah.
think it's like helping the world. It's helping all human beings in a way, and I think that's what God wants these platforms to be. You know, and at first they started as something that was not quite right. It was a fake and present the best version of yourself, and I think it's slowly turning into something more
It's
real
like, yeah, it's getting a lot
and
messier.
transparent and like, yeah, messy, right?
Yeah,
But that's
it gets
cool.
pretty
Life,
messy on
but like
TikTok.
that's good though, because life is messy.
Right, it's more raw than
And-
like
yeah.
Instagram, all the other shit where everyone's posting what they want you to think.
But I
Like
think
TikTok.
But
is
I
so
would
raw.
almost apply what we're reading to that theory though, because that's almost putting right, like that's almost pretending you don't need to watch. Like are you there with that? Where we're like, oh, we don't need to watch anymore. But are you sure? Like,
what do you mean?
well, with the whole digital medium and this whole thing of like that, right?
Yeah, right.
Like God and the algorithm and the thing, and I go, it says right here that like our big thing that we got to be concerned with is jumping the shark, right? Like we have to stay with God. I don't know if that's really God. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
like
let me just interject here. Let's we're going down a rabbit hole.
And that's okay.
Well,
in this meeting.
it's okay, but
In
are
this
we going to
meeting,
talk
it's
about
okay.
spiritual
We
principles,
will.
or are we going to talk about algorithms?
We're gonna talk about both.
Spiritual algorithm.
So I agree with you, and that's why all I share is my truth and my experience.
sure.
And I'm not pushing any agenda or like, I'm just saying, yo, like today I had a rough day and this is the solution. I read this thing about humility and that helped me. And it's just a bunch of those, like little moments.
No, you're doing radical.
Yeah, but I do agree that we should watch and be careful.
Well, I'm pointing out what Billy's saying is if we're following the parallel tracks of this, it's a cautionary tale of like, don't fucking count your time. Don't think you can live without a watch till the watch is just gone, right? Like the watch will disappear because you don't need it anymore. But are we there?
Also,
on
Billy,
levels. Of course, this is brand new stuff.
It is, right?
Yeah.
And also, Billy, just to remind you, you were the first person to talk about your TikTok video that you made.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not.
Great.
It's not just that. I mean, we've fallen off meaning like. That's my job. I'm
Yeah, I
I'm the
love it.
sheriff.
Thank you.
Okay, so
It's just that kind of meeting tonight.
Yeah. 50 people.
So where are we reading?
Bottom of 72.
To take a simple example, suppose that in a street accident you find that a man has severed an artery and the blood is spurting out. The normal course of things is that unless this bleeding is stopped, the victim will die within a few minutes. Now, what is the spiritual attitude to take in such a case? Well, it is perfectly simple. Immediately you perceive what has happened, you must turn the other cheek by knowing the truth of the
Omnipresence of God.
of God. If you get this clear enough, as Jesus would, for instance, the severed artery will immediately be healed, and there will be nothing more to be done. It is exceedingly unlikely, however, that you will get your realization clear enough for this, and so, demonstrating where you are, you must take the usual steps to save the man's life by immediately improvising a tourniquet or whatever to proper procedure may be. If anybody wants to jump in, go ahead.
This is a fucking weird one, bro. They're saying. I mean, this is. Did you hear this?
No.
This is insane. I don't understand this, bro. Really.
Keep saying you have to demonstrate where you're at. You can't be something you're not.
No, but they're saying that if this guy's on the street bleeding, you just look at him and go, "Oh, he's bleeding," and that it's gonna heal itself.
No, it's saying where you're at, you're gonna have to improvise a tourniquet. If you don't know magic.
what I like about this when they get into this is they're saying there's a lot more possible, and that we can go further and deeper. And Jesus, they use an example of someone who's gone really deep. And if you have that kind of realization, you can do miracles, what we would call miracles.
Well, yeah, look, Paul, it's saying the severed artery will immediately be healed, and there will be nothing more to be done.
If you're Jesus.
If you're in that level, if you're at that level.
Exactly.
But that's a play on words, man.
Right. Yeah, that's where I want to get a little bit of clarity.
That's a play on words.
All I know is it inspires me to go deeper, so that's how I look
Maybe
at
if
it.
we read the next paragraph, it'll shed a little light.
All right, let's do it.
They're
Let's
giving
do
us
it.
another
I'll
example.
read it. I got the next
Falling
one.
in a well, I'm gonna need to help them out. They're just gonna like float out. Like, it's kind of gnarly.
The blood
I
is
don't
spurting.
get it.
But it's like what Billy's saying. It's like what Billy's saying is that miracles are possible. Like the reason he loves this is because he has this Meniere's disease thing that
It's fucked up.
can possibly get healed.
Of course, miracles are possible.
You know, without having to go to a doctor or do these other things, like having that faith.
There is cases of cancer anomalies, things just doctors don't even know why it went away, right? There is cases on record. There is phenomena. So I don't know.
Thinking positively and having that kind of faith, that level of faith can be.
It's something for me that I really tickles my fancy because I have Meniere's disease.
Yeah.
And
too.
But it's saying clear. It's pretty clear here. If you get this clear enough, as Jesus would, for instance, the severed artery will immediately be healed, and there will be nothing more to be done. It is exceedingly unlikely, however, that you will get your realization clear enough for this, and so demonstrating where you are, you must take the usual steps to save the man's life by the immediate implementation of a tourniquet or whatever the appropriate procedure may be.
He's just driving the same message home.
Yeah, it's
in different ways. That's what he's doing.
He's saying like it is.
You have to demonstrate where you're at. You can't. You're not Gandhi. So you gotta be Pat.
But if you were Gandhi,
If you were Gandhi, your way would probably work better.
But you got to learn how to do a tourniquet to save this man's life, where Jesus would just show up and heal it.
Yeah.
That's where I get.
I've got to create a tourniquet, so I need to take action for my life, right? So like going back a chapter where he's like, we think we can live without a watch, right? I got this figured out. I've been sober X amount of times. I got it down. But the reality is, you got to work the program, right?
Yeah.
Some
Like, you
people
gotta
come
go
into
through
AA,
steps.
they want to do step 1 and then step 12.
Right.
They don't go through the process. You have to go through a process and demonstrate where you're at.
Keep your watch
Or else
on.
you get nowhere. You're unteachable.
And you can't make a tourniquet
Simple.
when life depends
You don't
on
even
it.
know what a tourniquet is.
There
You're
you
still
go.
in step 1 trying to 12-step people. You don't even know the process.
Right.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
People get in and they think they got the miracle at step 1. And they want to start sponsoring people.
So like with me in life,
There's a process.
It's like the constant leveling up, right? So I went through a season where I was like, fuck a watch. I don't need a watch. I'm just gonna go with the flow of life. But that can only happen for so long, where I need to put a watch back on and create routines that are gonna make me a better person, level myself up spiritually, level my community up, right?
You don't go from 0 to badass. You gotta learn how to be a badass.
Like for me, I have to make myself brush my teeth in the morning. Like that's what level I'm at. I don't tie my shoes either. They're always tied. I just slip them on. I'll tie your shoes for you, buddy, and then you don't have to do it again.
You won't be able to untie them later.
I only get lost when they say,
They're just using an extreme example.
if you get this clear enough, the severed artery will immediately be healed.
She
It's a
say it's
play on
possible.
words, man.
Yeah.
Emmett Fox is a writer.
I don't agree.
It's also
I don't
the
agree.
ultimate clarity. Like
You
if you
saying
were,
that literally?
I think so too.
yeah,
Alright.
if you're clear enough, if you're dialed in with God, clear enough, all your bullshit, and you're walking on water, clear enough, man. Zzz, I am the cauterizer.
Okay, but nobody is that.
But that's the point.
Right. The goal is to
But
try
it's
to get there.
It's there. That's what Jesus was trying to give us. If you go down
Well,
that
that's
path,
that's why I'm saying this is kind of a
That's
crazy
what the
thing I'm
resurrection's
saying.
about.
And to just skim over it and not have clarity on what they are saying here, which is that miracles are possible.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I'm like a firm believer in like miracles. and not just like normal stuff. Like I grew up in a super intense church. I'm from Tennessee, and I've seen some like crazy shit happen before my eyes. Like through like intense prayer. I'm talking like hundreds of people laying hands. Like I have seen crazy things, which sounds super like gnarly, but I do believe that it's like it's real what they're saying. And this what you were saying about cancer. Like I've heard people talk who like went to the doctor. They said, "Hey, you have cancer. Come back. We're gonna like start doing treatment." When they went back, the cancer was gone. Like I've heard that shit, so I believe it.
That's why like this is cool because they're saying just leave space for that.
For possibility.
That's a possibility, and it's so easy for me to be like.
But I think
It's hard to get to that place.
Like,
right.
no.
It's very hard to get there.
But like, yo, if I could just have a little bit, like the faith of a mustard seed.
It's like open mind.
But he doesn't.
Like
But they're not
Randy
using
said.
the word faith. He's using clear, right? The word clear is the I think the key to the deal, right? Because it's if you get this clear enough, right? Meaning that like there's no baggage and no bullshit, right? The people that are praying and laying hands, right? They're clear on their intention. They're like, we're praying all together to get the cancer out of this woman's body. Boom, focus, no nothing, no thinking about McDonald's on the side. We're clear.
100 people.
Clear.
Getting
And,
clear.
and to get that clear as for me as an alcoholic, man, whoa, I can barely sit for the 4 minutes and not listen to what was going on next door and be like, I don't know what's going on next door. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's even clearer than that. It's not even the cancer, just God.
That's it.
Just God. Not even like,
I would even say like, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
It's kind of wild because, like I said, I've been clean off heroin and meth for a year and 4 weeks. This is like might be out there for too many people, but I was out here super strung out for like 3 years, fucking around. I was homeless. I could not get my shit together. I could not stay off that shit for 2 days. I'd go to detox and it, like dip out like 2 hours later. I went home to visit my parents and I had told like my parents like something has to change. Long story short, I was actually at church, right, in this like giant church I grew up in, and I had talked to my pastor and was like, yo, like I'm gonna fucking die, like I'm gonna die in the streets. And when I kid you not, like half the church had hands on me and people were like praying really hard. And this is like really out there, but I'm telling you, everyone who was touching me, their hands started shaking. And I'm not like Pentecostal, we're like normal, we're like non-denominational. I literally felt like something came out of my body. And since that day, I've never craved those two drugs. Like, that's why I'm clean. I'm not in AA or working steps. But I swear to God, I have never touched heroin or meth since. And I don't have cravings for it. Since that moment, like, I walked out of there and I looked at Liza and I said, something is different. And since that day, I swear to God, I've never touched the shit ever again.
I think you had a demon.
Yeah, it is. It felt like there was a demon that like literally got pulled from me.
Yeah, that's
And it was
so
like
sick.
really intense. Like I even was freaked out. Because like if you would have told, like people used to tell me that when I was growing up, like, we can save you from, and I'd be like, shut up. It's like, no. Like I don't believe in that shit. Like you can't save me from my addiction. But that day, like something very otherworldly happened. And since then, like I swear to God, it's like I never had touched it.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
I'm a
thank
firm
you.
believer in that.
But also, when I was new, I looked at this shit to discount AA. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. You know, that's how. But it's been 25 years, and I look at things different now. It's a process.
Yeah.
So you're demonstrating where you're at.
Child,
in the next paragraph.
Child in the fucking
man.
canal.
Or again, suppose that a child falls into the canal when you are passing by. Once more, the appropriate action will be to speak the word. And once more, if you have sufficient spiritual power, that child will immediately be seen in safety. But if not, then, demonstrating where you are, you must proceed to rescue him or whatever is best way, diving in if that should be necessary and praying as you act.
This is just so high level.
He's just pounding the way that you gotta be where you're at, spiritually, or wherever you're at. You have to demonstrate where you're at. In that Blue Clay manuscript, Bob Anderson says, if the shoe fits, you must wear it. That's it. You can't think, you can't be anything else but yourself. To thyself be true. And act that way. Don't try to be something you're not.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Where you are spiritually or mentally, wherever you are. If you're pissed off, you're pissed off. You're demonstrating where you're at.
Yeah, but there's another part to this, which is that
If you're dialed in,
that's what I'm interested in, is like hold space for the possibility to grow, to become enlightened and miracles. That's sort of the draw to want to get.
I'm sure you're a lot further than you were 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Spiritually.
I gotta share something.
For
So,
sure.
in sobriety, I was like a sex addict, porn, women, the whole thing. Like, and it was pretty bad. And I was circling the toilet, going deeper. And until I accepted where I was at, like, I just finally said, "This is who I am. This is who I am. This is Billy. This is where I'm at in my life. I'm wearing these shoes." Then I've been trying for years in SLAA, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous, and AA, and all that stuff, until I just said to my inner self, "Okay, here, this is who I am, God. I'm gonna do what I do because I have no power." I mean, I remember the nuts and bolts in my stomach going, "I'm just gonna act out. There's nothing I can do." I've been doing it for years. I said, "God, if you're real, if there's really a God, you do something, because I'm gonna do what I always do." And from that day on, it just started to go away, and it's not even a thing anymore.
It reminds me
That's
of that. It reminds
But
me
it's
of
like it's like being real to yourself, true to yourself. Where are you? Like he just keeps saying.
It reminds me of that scene in I just watched Forrest Gump where they're out trying to get the shrimp, and they're like, and he's like, "God, if you're fucking real, show me," or whatever. He's talking shit, and then all of a sudden it starts to storm, and he's on the thing. And he's like, "You call this a fucking storm?" And he's like talking shit to God, and like he's on the fucking thing with no legs. You remember that scene?
Yeah.
And then like they didn't get a bunch of shrimp that night, but all the other shrimp boats got wiped out, so that and then the next couple weeks was just like they just were getting shrimp.
Right.
It was just like weird how like
And then he was at peace with the world right after that.
right after that. It was kind of a cool little like thing, just because it's not what you think it's gonna be. Always. It's not like, oh, here you're gonna get the thing. It's like maybe that like something will happen that will open it up for you.
Trust the process.
And it might scare you,
If you have
right?
faith, you trust the process.
It might scare you because the wind's coming in,
Oh,
the
yeah.
storm's coming in,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, "This is gonna be over for us."
Yeah.
But we're gonna have faith and be like, "Is this all you got?"
Yeah.
Is this like Job, right?
It was
The shit Job went through in the Bible, where
Yeah.
like God just
It
tested
was-
into his core.
Yeah. It was such
He
a
let the
good,
devil
like,
test
analogy.
him.
But our time's up. Should we do burning desires right now for some
Yeah, no,
some
quick.
people in the online community or something?
Demonstrating where you're at, you can't be anything else. Way bigger part dialed in is the true presence. Clarity is the true present or presence. We are eternal, therefore the artery is healed as we spiritually live forever. Whoa. Tommy Titan trial. Clarity is the true present or presence. We are eternal, therefore the artery is healed as we spiritually live forever.
Next.
So no,
Don't
it's fucked
say
up.
that.
I'm just saying some
Oh
dumb
my
shit.
God.
I hear what
That's not
he's saying. I
funny.
hear what he's saying. He's open to possibility, like we were saying. Yeah.
Yeah, that I think that's
We're not a glum lot.
No. Cool guys. Thanks for coming out. We're gonna take us out.
We're gonna have Daniele Vanelli take us out with the Lord, the prayer of her choice after a moment of silent meditation for the people suffering here and out of here.
Our Father,
Our Father,
who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory,
Forever, amen.
Demonstrating where
Keep
you're at.
coming back. It works if you work it.
Thanks, guys.